Hello, I'm Rachel Piper. Welcome to my channel, Size Diverse Pilates, where I am trying to make Pilates accessible to the larger population. Today, I want to do a quick workout that is going to get us warmed up to do side kicks in springs here on the tower. Now, you can do this on the Cadillac, the tower, or the springboard. We won't be using the push-through bar today, so you don't have to worry about that. Only other thing you're going to need is a magic circle. First things first, bring yourself in front of your tower and place your feet against and try and get those heels secured with the knees bent. Bring the roll down bar into the hands, thumbs opposite the fingers, always for safety. And then just see if you can sit nice and tall, lifted, reaching the sits bones down. And then from here, you're going to push into those pulls and start rolling yourself back. Try to get to the pelvis all the way down before you let your low back hit, mid back, upper back, shoulders, and head. Then as you curl up, you're going to tuck your chin, keep some space, continue to keep your arms on your back as you try and keep the pelvis down for as long as possible to come back up. So we're going to sequence down trying to put the pelvis down, then the rest of the spine. Then as we come up, keep the pelvis down and try and get all of your spine up before it moves. Now we're just going to go a little bit quicker. So you're going to inhale, push in, reach yourself back, roll yourself down. Then tuck the chin, come into that upper ab curl, keep the pelvis down for as long as possible. When you can't get any farther, you're going to bend those knees and allow yourself to come all the way back up. 3 more like that. Tuck your chin, roll yourself up. And a lot of times what I see is that we start to roll ourselves back by taking the arms out. I want you to be nice and strong right between those shoulder blades and keep that strength the whole time. Really love feeling powerful in these movements, even if it's, in quotes, as simple as a roll down. Press in. This is our last one. Put the pelvis down, then the rest of your back. And then tuck the chin and leave the pelvis down for as long as possible. Continue to reach those heels in to come back up. Now you're going to grab that magic circle. We're going to do 5 more. You're going to take the magic circle. You're going to place it right on the outsides of the feet. So just like you were doing a little ring toss here, and you caught it right between your feet. Now, I don't care if your feet are off or on. The farther away you are from your pull system, the more spring tension you're going to have, and the closer you are, the less spring tension you're going to have. So you get to pick your journey here. When you have the magic circle around the feet, I want you to think that you are pressing those feet into a wall. So you're going to try and have equal weight, if they were against a wall, across the ball of the foot. Then we're going to do the same exact thing. Press the heels down, reach yourself up, be strong right in that middle back, right between the shoulders, and then try and get the pelvis down, reach the feet away, and then roll yourself the rest of the way down. Then tuck the chin and roll yourself up. As you come up, you're pressing out into that magic circle like crazy. Now you can adjust your position. Now that you know what it felt like, there was too much spring tension, move forward. Too little spring tension, need a little help, move yourself back. 4 more like that. Put the pelvis down, and then the rest of your upper body. And then back up. And do it again. And see what happens. So as you put the pelvis down, you get to look at those feet. What are your feet doing? My left one is liking to turn in towards me a little bit. So I have to press through my inner arch to sort of act like I have that wall behind my feet. So pull yourself back and roll down. And then try and curl yourself up. And then reach up tall. 1 more here. Reach the feet away. Bring the pelvis down. And then come back up. And sometimes it's just good to move too. Just good to move. We're just trying to stretch out as much of the hips and really get that stretch in the hips as possible while we're doing this. Now you're going to put the magic circle on the inside arches. Same exact thing. You're going to think that you're pressing those feet against a wall, and then grab that bar again. First one is always a, where should I be exactly? You want to find a place where you're connected and challenged at the same time. That's going to be different for everybody. So press those feet away from you, pull your shoulders back, reach the pelvis down, and then the rest of the body. And then as you come up, lift through the crown of your head and come all the way up, and 4 more. Reach the feet away, come on down. You don't have to do a lot of different movements to get a good workout. So it's between your feet, that magic circle. Squeeze it like crazy on these last 2. When you're down, think about almost pulsing, and then on that inner pulse, that squeeze, keep it and come back up. And 1 more. So reach through the feet, roll yourself back, then tuck, find that upper ab curl, reach through the crown of your head, press into that magic circle, and come all the way up. Okay, we have 2 more variations here, and we're really trying to connect to our center, the arms, and the legs, especially before we get to our super fun version of our side legs and spring. I want to make sure that we're prepped and ready. So a couple of options here. You can put the magic circle around the outsides of your legs, or you can put them right here around the knees. Either way, you have to push out in this magic circle. So you're going to really be using those abductor muscles. If you put it here and you barely have it, if you let go and then squeeze, you could potentially pop this off. So depending on the person, and this is why you get to explore and play in your own body, you may, if you're thinking too much about, is this magic circle going to pop off and go flying across the room, then just go ahead and bring it up. Okay. Now let's go ahead, bend the legs, push into those heels. And then from here, you're going to bring those arms onto your back, press out into that magic circle like crazy. Same exact thing with the spine. We're really trying to milk every last little bit out of the spine today, meaning that we're really just trying to get that traction and that stretch as much as possible. So try and put that pelvis down, press out on that magic circle, and then bring the rest of the body down. And then come back up, trying to leave that pelvis down. Now, wherever you have your feet, I think I'm going to bring mine out just a little bit more because I'm tending to pull my insides of my feet toward each other. And I really want to try and think that I have an equal press away through the ball of the foot. So 3 more here. And come on up, reach through the crown of the head, press out on that magic circle like crazy. And then again, put the pelvis down, then the rest of the body. This is really preparing you for your reformer short box, especially that work that we have when we're really trying to press out into this magic circle, especially when it was around your feet. So such a good prep for our round back in our short box series on reformer, even tree, all that. And come back up. And then we're going to do the same thing. Whew, I'm feeling it. Feels good. Right on the inside. This one, if your legs are wide enough and you want to scooch up a little bit, I still like heels down on the mat, but you could press your feet against your poles or against your springboard here. And then we're really going to press in to that magic circle. So squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Let's start up. And then pull the shoulders onto the back. Try and get the pelvis down. Squeeze. And bring it back down. Sometimes I like the smaller magic circle for this one. I have long legs and I'm still touching my mat for this one. So if you need to adjust a little bit, go ahead. And again, you can always grab a ball. So squeeze, put the pelvis down, and then the rest of the spine. And then tuck your chin, come up through the top of your head, and come up and squeeze. 2 more like this. And then we're going to be ready. And up. And last one. Squeeze into that magic circle. Come all the way down. And then come all the way up. So that's our magic roll downs. Okay, from here, we're just going to do 2 more, that very first position, and let's see if we learned anything. Now that the legs have really been working, let's see if we can press our feet into those pulls, because that's like standing against a wall. And let's see what happens when we reach our pelvis down, and then the rest of the spine. And then we tuck the chin, and we roll up, and we press those feet into the pull. Now, if you're like me, I was back a little bit far. I'm just going to scooch up a little bit. I like to maintain that connection. So bring the pelvis down, rest of the spine, and then start that inhale, and then exhale all the way up and over. So I like to line myself up here in the middle, and then once I'm in the middle, I make sure that I'm feeling pretty good about where I am. Then you're going to take the spring behind you. Okay? You're going to pull that, and you're going to put it over your top foot. Now from here, you're going to play around and see how it feels to just have your leg in this spring. If the spring is already pulling you all over the place, then you may want to bring your spring down a little bit or try a lighter spring. Okay, I'm gonna make sure my earpiece doesn't fall out here. So my hand's gonna be in a little bit of a different position than normal because I don't want my earpiece to fall out. Okay, so from here, you're gonna still do the same thing you do for side legs. You're gonna bring your legs out to a 45-degree angle, and then you're still gonna stack those hips like crazy. This hand can be in front of you. It can be on your hip. It could even technically be reaching here. This isn't super comfortable, I don't think, for me, but if we do some backward stuff and you feel like you need something to hang on to because you think you're gonna fall over, then you can go ahead and grab your pull here. So from here, I'll just go ahead and keep my hand right here. Oh, hand could be here, but you can see that I'm hitting it. So I just wanted to show you what that's like. Maybe you already tried it and you thought, no, not gonna do that. Exactly. So I'm just gonna keep my hand here, and we're just gonna start with sweeps or the side kick. So you're just gonna reach that leg forward, and then you're gonna reach it back, and you're gonna try and keep the hips stacked the whole time. So we'll just do 3 of each. Reach it forward, and then pull it back. Reach forward, and pull back. And this whole time that we do some of these here, you're just gonna try and keep the hips stacked, and the leg about hip level, at least for that one. Now, right here, let's do a little internal rotation and a little external rotation. So just 3 of each, right on top of the other leg. So internal, external, point the foot, and we'll go into our bot mat for this one. And as always, we're trying to keep the space, whatever space, and even trying to elongate the space between that bottom rib and the top of the hip there. So we go into turnout, we lift the leg up, and we flex it down. We lift it up, and we flex it down. And from here, think that you're looking straight, and keep looking straight instead of looking at the leg. So it's the same as our regular side kicks. Eyes forward, flex up, and point down. So we have 3 on this side. Super fun. Okay, then from there, we're just gonna point the knee or the toe into the knee, lift ourselves up, and then flex down. Now on this one, I do collapse a little bit, but I do like to go ahead and play with this one anyway, because I like to try and elongate here and really press the heel down. but the goal is to try and keep as much space as possible there. And then we'll flex up, bend the leg in, and point the toe away. So next time you can always think about lining up on the back and using and lining your arm up on the pole here, okay? Especially if it's not very comfortable for you to have your arm here. So now we get to do our big circles or the rond de jambe. So you're gonna reach forward, come up, come back, and as the leg goes back, you're really trying to pull that hip forward. And then as you kick forward, you almost have to roll it back. That's how you keep that stack. So you get to play around, make them as big as you want to, but at some point here, you're really trying to reach away and create that length. So just 3, then we reach back and we do the opposite circle. Reach up, come over, and come back down. Now, if you have a friend with you, or a partner of some sort, you could always have your partner or your friend stand behind you and give you some tactile feedback on what your hip is doing. That's always really, really nice. So another thing that we can play with is bringing the legs back, and then just with the one leg, and then as far back as you can get, and you draw 3 little circles back there. And then you pause, and then you go the other way. On this one, yeah, I really have to push that hip forward. Okay, so that is super, super fun stuff. That's kind of the whole series there, but then I like to do a little something with star. And the star one, I do like to be in the middle for. I like to have the legs nice and straight here, but you can kick this one out in front if you want to. Now, the straighter your legs are, the more off balance you're going to be during one of these. So I'll just bring my leg a little bit out in front of me. So for our star, which is a reformer exercise, this one is super fun. Take the arm and leg up and then bring them down. Then leg goes back, arm goes forward, and then pull yourself back to center. Again, we're still trying to keep the hips. Then last one, reach arm and leg forward, and then pull back. Yeah, and that whole time you're supposed to stay stacked. So you reach it up, you come down. You reach the arm and leg away from each other. Maybe you do a little extension here. A little bit easier when you're on the back of the mat. And then both arm and leg come forward, and then back. And then up, down, reach them opposite, stretch it, pull yourself back in, arm and leg go forward, and then pull it back. All right, let's go ahead and take that one off. For the other set here, I am gonna line up on the back of the mat. If you want like a real quick tip here, what I like to have is my reformer box somewhere close here, and I like to have the inside facing out because it's a little bit sturdier than the other way, right? Because it's top heavy here. So if I have it this way and I put a little pressure into it, it's gonna move. But if I do it this opposite way here, and this only works if it's about the same height here, it's actually a little sturdier this way. Now, if it's one of your first times lining up on the side here, you could put this here. I won't need it because I've done this before many times, but it is nice to give you a little bit of feedback just in case. So let's line up and you get to see my backside. All right, so we're gonna line up here, and then you're gonna line up your elbow and your arm here, and then you get to let your head down. So just make sure that you're lined up on the back of the mat, and I'm going to show you really quick what that would be like if I went here and a little bit too far. This is here. Now I still might stumble off, but it wouldn't be a complete kerplop onto the floor at least. There'd be a little bit of something back behind me. Okay, from here, I'm just going to take my legs at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to take the back spring, always the back spring, and put it on. Now from here, we get to repeat that same sequence. Now that I'm lined up here, I can still have my hand here. You could, again, hold the opposite or put it wherever you really want. All right, so we're going to do our sweep. So we're going to kick forward and then come back. Trying to keep that hip nice and square here. And it's harder when you don't have a mirror or camera in front of you to see what you're doing. And reach back. And then come back over the leg, a little internal rotation and external rotation. I'm only doing 3. Keep that external rotation. You're going to point up and then flex down. And you're going to try and keep as much space here as you possibly can on the way up and on the way down. So you really get to reach that leg away. Then you get to flex up and point down for 3. Just for the reverse. 1 more. Then we do our développé. So we're going to bring the toe into the knee, reach up and flex down. And here I do I don't know, like what's the word I'm looking for? Crunch a little bit. But once I get up here, I'm really thinking about extending that leg out and opening up that space. And then we flex up, we bring the leg in, we point down the leg. And, you know, if you just want to keep the point the whole time, that's also okay. And then we have our rond de jambe. So we come back to that parallel leg, we reach forward, we reach up, we reach back, we pull that hip forward to finish that circle. And just 3 this way. And then we'll reach it back, bring the leg up and forward, trying to keep that space. It's just, you know, it's a simple workout as far as what we're trying to keep stable and what we're having move in the body, but it doesn't make it any easier. Okay, go ahead, reach that leg back and then try and reach that hip down and forward. And then you have 3 small circles behind the body. And then you go the other way. Now there's a whole other straight body side lying series that we could do as well. We're just not going to do that one today. Okay, then we come to our finale here and we do our star. So for our star, we lift the arm and leg up and then we bring it down. Then arm reaches forward as leg goes back and then we pull them back in. This is the one where you have to be a little careful, especially if you're lined up on the back. Arm and leg go forward, ooh, and then come back. This side's a little tricky for me. Reach arm and leg up, bring them down. Arm and leg go opposite, reach the leg back, and come back center, and then bring arm and leg forward, and come back. Last one, reach up, and bring it down. Opposite, maybe a little extension there. Come back, and then arm and leg forward, and reach it back. And then we get to take that off nice and careful. What we started with our roll downs with our magic circle. Really good stuff to, one, get us ready to do our legs warm to do the side lying series. Really connects us to our center first so that we can be in that stable side lying position. But also really good for the short box series on the reformer when we use the magic circle to sort of stabilize the legs and really increase the strength in the legs so that we can really put that pelvis down first and then roll the rest of the body down and then come back up. And then the side leg series, it's supportive and also fun with the springs. It can be a little bit of a stability challenge, and it's also some really nice strength work and gives you a little bit of a stretch. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you do, please share and subscribe, like the video, so that I can keep creating some of these little workouts for you over time.